This video is part of the Do It With Me SPSS video series. Everything you need can be found in the Worksheet 7 Google Drive folder. We're using the Heartbreak Pill dataset to illustrate independent t-tests. As you can see, I've already downloaded the files here, and what we have to do is to produce the box plot, give the mean and standard deviation, as well as the t-test output. Then, once we have our data, we can interpret it and answer the questions: do we reject the null hypothesis or fail to reject it? Does the Heartbreak Pill work? To review, this is the context of the study. A pill for depression specifically caused by heartbreak is being developed by neuroscientists. However, there are some side effects, such as liver problems and hot flashes. This treatment was tested to 20 heartbroken individuals with depression. After 2 weeks of taking the pill, their depression levels were compared to 20 similar individuals who did not take the treatment. The null hypothesis is that there is no significant difference between the depression levels of the individuals who were given the treatment and of the control group. The alternative hypothesis, on the other hand, is that there is a significant difference between the depression levels of the individuals who were given the treatment and of the control group. We can look at the steps outlined in the SPSS Genie file. So let's try it. To import your raw data, click File, Import Data, and select the file type. We're using CSV. As you can see, our treatment variable is actually recoded as a string variable, and we need to recode it so that we can use it for our t-test. To do this, select the column of the variable you want to recode, click Transform, Recode into different variables, select the variable to be recoded, and place it here. Enter the name of the new variable. Let's use treatment_recoded, and click Change. Click Old and New Values. Enter the name of the old value. So maybe you want to change Heartbreak Pill into 1. Click Add. And then for none or no treatment, we want it to be 0. Click Add. Click Continue and then OK. Then you'll see that we actually have a new variable here. However, we still need to make necessary adjustments. So go to Variable View. Let's change the decimals to 0. And then for value labels, we can add Heartbreak Pill for 1. Heartbreak Pill. Click Add. And then 0. Turn on. Let's change this. Heartbreak Pill. So if you make a mistake, you can always change the words. Click OK. And you can see here that the value labels are actually interchangeable now. So to create the box plot, you can go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and then click Explore. Move your dependent variable to the dependent list box. So let's move depression scores here, and then we'll use our newly recoded variable. Click Plots under the display, and then click OK. So we now have a visual representation of our Heartbreak Pill group versus our no treatment group. Then we'll proceed to the t-test. So click Analyze, and then Compare Means, and then go to Independent Samples t-test. Put depression scores under test variable, and then for the grouping variable, click treatment_recoded, and then we still have to define the groups. So whatever value or number you used for your new variable, you should also match those here. Click Continue, and then click OK. So we already actually have the mean and standard deviation. You don't need to conduct a different analysis for that. So t-test already gives you that. We can see that the Heartbreak Pill mean is 2.20 with a standard deviation of 0.834. And then for the none or no treatment group, the mean is 3.15 for the depression scores. And then the standard deviation is 0.813. This t-test output, you can actually interpret this based on the infographic that I sent to you before. And what we want to look at here, the main values that we want to check are these two significance values. So this one is the first thing that you would check. And this is for Levine's test for equality of variances. Right? So we want this to actually not be significant, because if it is not significant, that means that our variances are equal. If it is significant, then we would have to use the second row. But checking our data, our output, we see that it is not significant. That means that our variances are equal. And you can see here that the standard deviation, which is related to the variance, is actually quite similar. So that means we're going to use the first row, and then we can see that the significance of the actual t-test is, yes, it is significant. So what it's saying is that the two groups are significantly different from each other. By how much? You can check the mean difference. So there's a 0.950 unit difference in terms of the depression levels. And we have the confidence interval of that estimation. All right. So the answers are here. You can see that the Heartbreak group is actually lower in terms of depression scores compared to the no treatment group. And you have the different plots, the different tables. So mean, standard deviation, and then the t-test output. Answering the questions, we reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternative hypothesis. There is a significant difference between the depression levels of the individuals who were given the treatment and of the control group. Does the Heartbreak Pill work? The short answer is yes, but the safer answer is to say that there is some evidence that the Heartbreak Pill may work. However, more research is needed. In particular, especially for clinical trials or experiments that involve human people and medicine, we use a randomized controlled trial. So it would look like this. A group of people, your sample is divided into two, and that's randomly assigned. One would undergo treatment and the other would not. And then we would check after 2 weeks, after 2 months, you would check again, take their measurements, and then compare the results. This is because we might expect that, for example, in this scenario, we would expect that people's depression levels would lessen over time. So we don't really know if it was because of the time or because of the actual treatment, the Heartbreak Pill, that caused the effect. So this would have been a better research design. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching.